Today we're looking at one of the most important cars in America, the 2020 Toyota Corolla.
Do you not have a pulse? The Corolla is for you.
It's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. According to Toyota, somebody buys a Corolla every 15 seconds worldwide. That means that in the time that you will watch this video, they will have sold 40 Corollas. I can only hope that we get just as many subscriptions every 10 minutes to Driving Sports TV right here on YouTube. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and we'll just take care of that. The new Corolla starts at $19,600. The model we have today is the sporty top trim XSE. It is upgraded with premium entertainment, adaptive front lighting, door sill protectors, and carpets. Prices you see it here, $29,168. Yes, you're looking at almost 30 grand for a Corolla. You can get the new Corolla with 3 engine options. Lower trims come with a 1.8-liter, 139 horsepower 4-cylinder unit. SE and XSE models come with the beefier 169 horsepower 2-liter 4-cylinder. All powertrains include a continuously variable transmission. EPA rates the 1.8-liter at up to 38 miles to the gallon on the highway, 30 city. The faster 2-liter gets up to 40 on the highway and 31 in the city. A hybrid is also available, and that one will get you an impressive 53 miles to the gallon. If you do want a manual transmission, it is available, but only in one trim, the SE. That also includes sport-tuned suspension and the better 2-liter engine. Hashtag save the manuals. And if you were paying attention to the EPA numbers I just quoted, yes, the faster one is also more economical. No reason to get the lower powered model unless you simply cannot afford higher trims. Trunk space is pretty good for the class. You're looking at 13.1 cubic feet, which is a little bit less than the newest Honda Civic sedan's spacious 15.1 cubic feet, but it's not bad. The second row also folds down for larger objects. And speaking of larger objects, at 6'1", I kind of fit in the second row. A fold-down armrest reveals twin cup holders, and that's pretty much it back there. Being an upper trim, the front cabin is pretty nice, with 8-way adjustable sports seats on the driver's side, along with 2 stages of warming. Overall, the materials are pretty good for the class, with leather on key touch points. Standard on this XSE is a large 7-inch multi-info display in the cluster. It also has a power sunroof and Toyota's Safety Sense P active safety system. This provides lane and pedestrian detection, collision mitigation, blind spot monitoring, and radar cruise control with steering assist. Put the Corolla into reverse for a backup camera with a projected driving path. Even though this XSE is pretty loaded, the aircon is only single zone, which is disappointing at this price point. It does have paddles on the steering wheel, which will allow you to emulate a step transmission if you really want to do that. Toyota has made big strides in their infotainment system for 2020. Even base trims now get Apple CarPlay and Amazon Alexa. But this being a top trim with premium audio upgrade, it also has a larger 8-inch display, as well as built-in navigation and JBL sound, plus wireless charging for compatible devices. All trim levels do get USB and 12-volt sockets. To use CarPlay, just plug into the dash-mounted USB port. Of course, using Apple Maps pretty much negates the need to upgrade to navigation on the built-in unit. However, there are some times if you're outside of data coverage where the built-in unit is pretty handy to have. But if you stick to the cities, Apple CarPlay and Google Maps are just fine. For our drive today, we are going to cut to the chase and just start with the sport button engaged. This button basically just makes the throttle more aggressive, and it will hold RPMs higher on the CVT. On the road, the Corolla XSE looks pretty good. You could even say it looks sporty. And not only does it look it, it actually drives really nicely. It even includes brake vectoring to help rotate the vehicle around corners. This is technology that previously was designed for high-end luxury cars, and it has now trickled down to the humble Corolla.
Even though the dimensions are almost identical to last year's model, this one is built on the all-new Toyota global architecture. It's the same chassis that underpins the new RAV4. And it benefits by being more rigid and having more crash safety than the previous model. This XSE includes special sport suspension. And honestly, I wouldn't want anything softer. I really like the suspension on this car, but where Toyota calls it sport, I would call it normal. It's really good for normal suspension. I have not driven one of the softer sprung Corollas, but I'm not sure I'd like it very much because this is really great for just an everyday driver. Let's try a 0 to 60. I'm going to come to a complete stop. I'm going to put the car into sport mode. 3, 2, 1, go! Little wheel spin because it's a little wet out. 30, 40, 50, and 60. Acceleration on this one, it's good. It even makes decent sounds. I mean, considering this is a Corolla. A Corolla! I mean, this is the car that you buy because you're a brainless automaton whose parents told them that Toyotas make good cars, and this is the 4-door family sedan that you can afford. This is not a car that people like usually test drive everything and say, you know what? That Corolla is tops. Toyota didn't have to do this good with this car. They honestly could have phoned it in and they would have sold over 250,000 of them with no problem. However, what Toyota has done is actually create a really nice driving 4-door sedan. Combined with the 18-inch wheels, you actually get some pretty good road feel. And you can even press it in the corners. Go right ahead. It does just fine. So what if it says Corolla on it? This is actually a fun car to drive. The Corolla we're driving even comes with Toyota Safety Sense 2.0. This is an improvement over their previous advanced safety tech. What it includes is collision mitigation, a rear backup camera with cross-traffic alerts, blind spot warnings, and it has adaptive cruise control. Now I know you're saying, well, that sounds all like last year's, but it's not. Because when I do adaptive cruise control now, go ahead and turn it on, pace the vehicle in front of me, turn on lane trace, it tracks the car in front of me and it'll steer the vehicle for me. Last year's Corolla, it would only pace the vehicle in front of me and it would notify me if I went out of lanes. This one will actually steer and lane center. No ping-ponging down the road. It'll stay between the lines. So for a vehicle at around $30,000, this is a great feature to have. And something you just really won't find at this price point. Look at that, steering itself. Nice. Now it will support stop, but it doesn't do really stop and go. So if you're in, say, a commuter situation and you're stopped on the freeway, you do have to hit the button to re-engage it. Whereas some systems will actually stop and go for you. Those are still the more higher end systems. You're not going to find that in a $30,000 vehicle. The closest would probably be Subaru's EyeSight 2, which will at least notify you when the vehicle has moved ahead. This one, it just sits and basically shuts off until you tell it that you want to do something else. The engine is a 2-liter 4-cylinder. It has direct injection, and it is good for 168 horsepower. On the freeway, you're looking at 38 miles to the gallon. Around town, 31. Will it actually get those EPA ratings? Oh man, it is really close. I've been driving fairly hard around town, and I am getting 30 miles to the gallon. Between 29 and 30. On the freeway, I definitely got about 37, 38, just as it's supposed to. And I don't drive nice. I really don't. I really enjoy driving this. I just do. It's a fun car to drive. I mean, Corolla, really, that brand, that's the car that you buy your kid when you don't care about cars. You just want something that you've heard is safe and reliable. The Corolla. Do you not have a pulse? The Corolla is for you. Well, this new one, yeah, it kind of changes that. It's for people that have a pulse and care about what they drive. And I am just as shocked as you are. Honestly, yeah,
The bottom line here is that the Corolla offers a model for pretty much any kind of buyer. Want something fun? For $22,750, you get the SE with the 6-speed. That is personally the one I would take. Want just an economical commuter that doesn't say Prius on it? Get the hybrid L Corolla for $23,100. Though the XSE I did drive for this review is compelling, it's still, in its bones, an economy car with lots of extras just tacked on. I'd really have a hard time justifying $30,000 for a Corolla. I don't care how nice it is, at that price point, there are simply better options. You could even get a really nice certified pre-owned luxury sedan for the same money, especially if you look around. What do you think? Would you consider this new Corolla for your driveway? What else would you get for $30,000 large? Post a comment below. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.